If you're Rani Hong, you know.
It takes a village.
You know that. So you reach out to others on this day through Skype.
Hi, Jafid.
Hi.
To get their help.
I wanted to get some feedback from you.
Their feedback.
Trying to create awareness.
For this idea you have.
I had to think, how am I going to get my message across to raise awareness?
People are listening now. People from all over the world, in fact.
I make these international phone calls because I need partners all around the world. We need as many people possible to be voice for those cannot speak.
Who are these people who can't speak, who won't speak?
We're talking about people being sold, bought and sold for somebody else's profit.
Rani Hong was one of those people.
Now, I'll show you a photo of me.
This picture begins to tell the story. It's Rani at 7 years of age, frail, frightened. At this age, you should be full of life. Rani was afraid for her life, and so she stayed silent.
I wasn't speaking.
Voiceless.
I was sold to my broker, Paul, who got the ownership of me.
That was almost 40 years ago in India. Rani was sold and primed for her new life of forced labor.
So in my case, I was beaten quite a bit, held in a cage, so my legs had atrophied, the muscles, and so I had difficulty walking.
Rani managed to escape from the clutches of her master only because she became too frail.
I was no longer useful.
That's when her trafficker sold her for international adoption. That's when she arrived in the United States, raised by a single mom right here in Olympia, Washington. We'll show you that picture now.
She taught me the values of valuing another human being.
Nellie Jean Clark was Rani's savior.
She saved my life.
A mom who knew what she had to do. It's a mother's instinct, after all.
She chose to pour her love into me as an 8-year-old child. And every day, she would pull my legs so my muscles would work again. And I remember going to school here in Washington State and seeing these children, all these other children running. And I remember sitting on the sidelines watching them, and I wish I could, and I couldn't.
Sitting on the sidelines. Not anymore. Not Rani Hong. She is front and center now. Consider this.
Hi, welcome to New York City. We're right here in front of the United Nations General Assembly.
In September, Rani was asked to share her story at the United Nations.
Your story has captivated us all. So thank you so much for what you are doing, and we look forward to hearing your statement now.
I tell my story because there are millions of other individuals, like the little girl I was, imprisoned, enslaved, silenced.
I couldn't help but think about what she said to me once, about what her trafficker said to her often.
And my traffickers were saying, you might as well shut up. You are not, nobody's listening to you. Nobody will ever listen to you. That's what was told to me.
Look at her now.
We can change the lives of many victims.
We're listening. They're listening. Hospitality employers and employees in Snohomish County getting training.
My goal is to inspire you into action.
From someone who knows.
Oftentimes, they don't know how to identify a situation of forced labor. A lot of times those are sometimes maids or nannies working in our hotels, working in our restaurants.
Frank Welton from Hilton Hotels.
It's awareness, and people didn't know. When I was first approached, it was like, oh my goodness, I never really thought about it that way.
Changing our thinking, breaking the supply chain, eliminating forced labor. She's challenging companies to do just that. This company in Olympia is Diamond Technology Innovations. It has earned the Freedom Seal from Rani's foundation, the Trani Foundation. Tanya Jernigan.
By providing that seal, the Freedom Seal, it assures consumers that that company is looking at their supply chains very carefully.
What can we do in schools? Schools can do what Olympia High School is doing, thanks to Rani Hong's challenge.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the slave-free zone, how we earned that designation.
That slave-free designation begins with critical questions. Olympia High Principal Matt Grant.
Well, our students in the student store are looking at what company are we going to buy from, and I think that they've decided they're going to scrutinize things a little bit more.
Ronnie's son Andrew is a freshman.
You proud of her?
Yeah, I'm proud of her.
As Ronnie's mom would have been proud of her. Would have been.
And the most wonderful mother who changed my life.
You see, Nellie Jean, lost her battle with cancer when Rani was just 16 years old. Mom never got to see her daughter in action. This I'm talking about.
We can change the lives of many victims.
Never got to hear that voice get louder.
So that is why I'm here today, to give you a sense of hope.
And stronger.
That we all can do something about this.
And stronger still.
My mom, I believe she's up in heaven, and I feel like, maybe she knows it, I don't know, but only she knew that nobody would have imagined that I would be doing this on a global stage and United Nations. Nobody knew, but it was the love and the attention of that Nellie Jean Clark who brought me to who I am today.
Who she is today is a determined woman raising awareness about human trafficking on a worldwide stage, a survivor speaking for those who can't. John Sharifi.
And so I'm forever grateful for her.
King 5 News.